Hey, there we go. It's working. The wonders of the internet. Let's get this party started, folks.
Let's do that.
Welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the continent. So while you're washing the ash off your car, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right, and that means it's time to bring in our soot-covered simian. Some say he's listed as a side effect on several popular medical treatments, and others say he's the best Canadian import since Molson beer. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hey, thanks for setting the bar nice and low. That's that makes it really easy to basically I can take the rest of the night off now if that's where we're setting the bar.
That's all the energy I've got left here in Smoggist.
Smoggist. Isn't that a great name? Yeah. I hadn't heard that one until you had mentioned it there, Wits End.
Yeah. No, boy, I just find myself really dragging with all the smoke in my lungs.
Oh, that's my excuse too.
Yeah.
No kidding. Right. Yeah. Before we get into it, there was stories all over the news up here in the Metro Vancouver area that being outside and breathing for the day was the equivalent of smoking 7.5 cigarettes. So,
yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true though, because I mean, cigarettes have other crap in them, right? So, burning trees don't. So I don't know if it's exactly the same.
Isn't cigarettes kind of a burning tree anyway? But I really appreciate an air I can feel. I just feel like I'm getting more value in every breath.
That crunchy air.
Yeah. We had an event outside, or we had an event at where I work, and there was ice cream, and they were served a truck outside, and everybody was holding their ice cream up to get free sprinkles.
There you go.
As the ash fell on it.
Right. There you go. All right. Well, looking forward to a fun show tonight. We've got a lot of news stories that I don't know. It's just been one of those weeks where there's been a lot of curious things that have popped up in the news, geocaching related. So we're gonna have a little fun talking about some of those. We're going to recount our adventures from the past weekend. Get some updates from everybody, and I guess that's the stuff we're going to talk about. So that's lots. We may as well get into it, but I think we have other things to do before we roll into that, right, guys?
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah.
I think we should first start with a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons. It's really the patrons who keep this podcast coming to you each and every week. And if you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
There you go. Thank you, Chris. And the little bit of awkwardness we have around that is for some reason, at some point in time, probably when I wasn't on the show, we switched up the show notes so that Chris says the part that I normally say. So I get up to there, I'm like, oh, well, that's Chris's name. So I'm not going to say it.
Just jump in. Just take over.
Right. But now we're going to jump back to the part Chris normally says.
Oh, now you're going to read it?
No, Chris will read it.
Okay.
I'm taking the night off. I was compared to Molson Canadian. I've got the rest of the night off now.
You are almost literally phoning it in.
Oh, that would be me. You guys are in your home studios. Right. I'm phoning it in tonight.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hey, it's time for our glow.
Yay.
And here's what I normally say. Whether you wrote it or whether you read it, we want to hear about it. Great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can always call into 253-693-TFTC or use the voicemail tool on the website and show us how you glow.
All right, and tonight we're going to glow here from on the road. And the glow says, while out caching with iHand the other day, we found GC5NFYQ. And in doing so, ran across the log from none other than Chris of the Northwest. I've heard of him. Dan double dog dared me to submit it as a glow, so here it is. Although this is supposed to be a family-friendly podcast. So this log is from Chris of the Northwest. I found this little bugger to keep my 366-day challenge going. Okay, now, time out. If this is Chris of the Northwest log, why am I reading it? But anyway.
Because I'm afraid to say some of these words in public.
Okay. My wife says I'm too handsy, but apparently that's a good thing when geocaching, not when she asks for a back rub. All guys know what women really mean when asking for a back rub. Why don't they admit it? Oh no, they get all offended if our hands wander at all. It's possible I do not understand women, but that's highly unlikely. I've been married for 25 years to the same woman. I must have done something right in all that time. She has told me that she loves the anniversary gifts of irons, pots and pans, and vacuums. Don't tell me I'm not romantic. I've got skills. I'm in the union. Surprise dinners at the finest fast food restaurants. Romantic drives so I can go hunting. Long walks on the beach while I fish. Romantic nights at home watching all the Star Trek and Star Wars movies back to back. Leaving the toilet seat up so she can decide if she wants it up or down. Letting her have quiet nights at home while I'm drinking with the buddies. I'm the complete package. The container and log are both in good shape. Thanks for the cash.
Interesting glow.
Yeah,
I think there's a story behind that glow.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
Or maybe it's just an accurate way that Chris of the Northwest feels about his wife.
There you
I
go.
love her, and I give her all these opportunities I show my love in all these different ways. And
Big sigh.
yes.
Good time.
So anyway, we want to, on a very serious note, we want to switch thoughts. We want to switch themes here for just a minute and let you know that our thoughts and prayers are with those who are affected by the many fires right here in the Northwest. I mean, they seem to be everywhere, and they're huge this year. So, you know, if you had to evacuate because of air quality or because your property's in danger, just know that we're thinking about you. We're praying for you.
Well, and
Absolutely.
but even on a more practical side, if you want to help out, there's a lot of relocation, particularly up in British Columbia. There's been a lot of people getting displaced by the forest fires. And I believe if you go to the Red Cross website and you want to give to help support those folks who are at risk of losing their homes and definitely are trying to continue their lives while they're being displaced by the forest fires, go check that out and see what you can do to help out.
Red Cross is an excellent organization. I know that if not 100%, a very high percentage of everything you give goes to help those in need. You can trust the Red Cross.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right. So in other news, I'm gonna segue out of that serious topic and talk about something less serious, but hopefully still interesting. Here's the question. Do you want to meet the Caching the Northwest hosts in person and win a prize?
No.
I just want the prize.
Oh,
well.
Oh, wait, that wasn't a question for us. Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, meeting us kind of is a prize. So I don't know what else. I mean, that's kind of, I could just drop the mic and stop there. But, you know,
I only charge $5 for an autograph. I think it's a bargain.
That is a bargain. Absolutely. Hey, seriously though, you can win some very cool BC Geocaching Association swag. And how do you do that? Well, Caching in the Northwest is going to be at GeoCoin Fest 2018 in Issaquah. I'm trying to remember how Siri said.
Issaquah.
Issaquah. That's where we're going to be, in Issaquah, Washington. That is Sunday, September 30th, the big event. We are going to have a booth there. Thank you very much to the organizers of GeoCoin Fest for inviting us to come along and play. We promise to almost play nicely.
Almost.
But here's the deal. If you want to win a prize, this is the way it's going to work. Sometime during the GeoCoin Fest weekend, find So either on that Sunday or the Friday or the Saturday, find one of the three of us hosts. We're going to be around and we're going to have tickets
Someone.
with us.
And some of us are rounder than we want to be.
Yeah. Find one of us, get a ticket, hold on to your ticket. Then on Sunday, September 30th at noon, come to our booth in the historic Pickering Barn where the Omega event is taking place and hand in half your ticket into the draw bucket. We will have the draw and you'll have a chance to win some of these prizes. And thank you very much to British Columbia Geocaching. Wow. All right, I'm going to start drinking because this isn't working. Thank you very much to the BC Geocaching Association for sponsoring these great prizes. And we are looking forward to GeoCoinFest 2018, Sunday, September 30th.
You know, the podcast just isn't as much fun when Land Monkey is sober.
Clearly.
Hey, there's many people in the chat that said they've already met us. So we owe them a prize. They should just get a prize because they've already met us.
No, they've already gotten a prize if they've met us.
They have. Our presence. That's why they call it a present.
Yeah.
Our presence is a prize.
Yeah. And after that log, Chris, I understand your wife has been saying that you are quite a prize.
Oh, I am the complete package.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've
Actually,
heard.
my wife is the one who really posted that. So I mean, you know, that's how she feels about me. She loves me. Everybody loves me.
Yes, there you go. All right, and the chat, you guys are awesome over in there. Super active tonight. Hope you guys are having fun in there. Remember to keep us posted on the virtual cash count because, and we'll probably talk about this later, but tonight is the last night to get your virtual cash, your virtual, what is it called? Your virtual cash submitted for review. Tonight's the last night. So there's been a whole ton of them publishing all over the world. Kind of cool. All right.
Nice.
Anyways, speaking of geocaching.com and HQ, they leaked a little bit of news about something else. They leaked. That sounds terrible. There's probably medication for that.
Side effect of that Land Monkey.
They leaked a bit of news earlier this week in one of their memos. Email, whatever you want to call it. That was kind of curious. They didn't really explain much, so I'm going to be reaching out to Rock Chalk and see what we can find out. But what it read was introducing a new series called You Might Be a Geocacher If. Each month from September through December, use Friend League. So, yep, we're going back to Friend League. Individually earn points towards a new geocacher personality souvenir. Are you an adrenaline junkie? A caching connoisseur? A social butterfly? A trackable lover? Collect them all to be the ultimate geocacher. Stay tuned to learn September's challenge next week. So, next week,
Nice.
you're going to tell us more about what's going on. Sounds like, if I'm going to guess, sounds like earning souvenirs by collecting points in Friend League by, doing different things like maybe 5 caches for Adrenaline Junkie, high favorite points for Caching Connoisseur, go to an event, Social Butterfly. I'm just going out on a limb here, but those seem like they would probably relate. What do you think?
Makes sense to me.
I'm relatable.
Yeah? All right. Well, then let's just give you a virtual reward.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, so get out there and build up your friend league, right?
That's right.
Make lots of friends.
Yeah.
You know, one geocacher you might want to put in your friend league is Jason Winder. He was featured on the local news in Colorado and showed how geocaching is helping him work with a health concern, much like Crohn's disease, through planning and going out on geocaching adventures. He gives him the motivation, mental, emotional, and physical boost through his treatments. He's approaching fine number, if it's binary, it's only like 32, but I think it's number 10,000 in decimal. So we're congratulating Jason when he hits that milestone. He's going to let us know, or let geocaching.com know. And who knows? If you know Jason, reach out to him. Tell him to give us a call and send in the highlight of that 10,000th find using the voicemail tool on the cachingandw.com website.
Ooh,
Yeah, absolutely.
nice.
To hear from Jason Winder. So if you know him,
Yeah.
he was featured on the local Colorado news station. So I watched the little news story they did on, which was great. Him and his, I can't remember if it's fiance or if they're married now, but they've been getting out geocaching between his treatments for his disease that he's fighting, and geocaching is what he credits with giving him the motivation to really just start the healing process. So I thought it was
That's really cool.
Story.
That is cool.
And you could also send him a link to this podcast so he can listen to the glow and learn how to treat his fiance or wife, depending on if.
Yeah, there you
That
go.
is just one of the small services we offer.
Yeah, marital advice here.
Everybody's welcome to that advice. In fact, next week, I'm not going to mention anything like that because I'll have been sleeping on the sofa all week.
I was going to say, speaking of great advice, Chris, why don't you take the next story?
The next one comes from the northwest of Europe. In UK, a plastic box containing a fake bomb and a note with "boom" written on it was found on a public footpath. Let me say, not cool, but I continue. 6 plastic cylinders were discovered taped together in the container, along with a ticking pocket watch in Paddington, Devon, on Monday morning. A member of the public called 999, that's 911, in British speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. They count differently. It's
Can you remember the whole number from IT crowd?
0118999881199 119725
3.
There you go.
No, we can't.
Okay.
Okay. A member of the public called this incredibly long number, and the police removed the box and destroyed its contents. Officers suspect it was meant for geocaching.
Oh my goodness,
dude! Not cool.
It sounds like it was just a boom box.
Oh,
nice!
Wow.
Are they holding it over their head? Yeah.
What song do you have to play on that one? On the boom box? I don't remember.
Shoot. I don't know.
I can't remember. All right, chat room. There's some research. What song do you play on the boombox when it's over your head? All right.
And what movie is it from? I really can't remember.
While we're speaking of romantic gestures,
it's from Say Anything. Go ahead.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you. And while we're speaking of romantic gestures here, another news story from the northwest of Europe. One over from England, it would be France. I see England, and now I see France. There's a small French town that plans to oust Paris as city of love with their romantic treasure hunt. So the story goes on to talk about the town called Lens, which is situated in Pas-de-Calais in the north of France. They're planning to launch a tech and love-themed treasure hunt with a view to attracting visitors who are fans of romance.
This story could go downhill really quickly. Be careful.
According to Le Parisien, the trail will be launched on the 28th of September in conjunction with an exhibition called Amour that is being held in the town's Louvre-Lens Museum. Operating on the principles of geocaching, where participants use a GPS receiver or mobile phone device and clues to find hidden waterproof containers, the Lens Réveillon Tourism Office wants to create a love trail. Yeah, this could go downhill really fast. They want to create a love trail based on information taken by couples who found their partner in Lens, which has a population of approximately 31,000 people. So I'm not sure if there's actually something officially tying this to geocaching or if it's just like geocaching. So
I don't know, but that's probably the safest way we can combine tech and love on this podcast. So
there you go.
Wow. I love. And I'm very romantic, as you know.
We heard all about your relationship advice and
So Chris, you have lived in France.
Oui.
And you have amazing advice on romantic relationships. I think you need to contact the town of Lens and submit your story and see if they'll create a location-based romance trail piece for you there.
There you go.
I should be the love ambassador.
I think that everything you have to say would fit very well in a small plastic container to be placed on a trail.
Boom.
Just write boom on a piece of paper.
Thank you, Jay. I'm really touched. Thank you. I'm
I'm
glad
really
you
touched when
finally
your wife sees that log.
I'm glad you finally see my genius coming through. I mean,
that's what it is.
I've worked hard to hide it all these years, yet
You've done a really good job. Yeah.
yet sometimes I just can't contain it.
You're so excited.
Hey, I'm just glad that I didn't have to read that story because Chris lived in France and you took French in grade school or whatever as a Canadian, but I took 3 years of high school Spanish. I couldn't have pronounced half those names. So
Thank you. Or merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Mercy buckets, yeah.
There you go.
By
Well,
the
hey,
way,
that was yeah.
who was it? It was it was Keats that said Trey's beans on all that French speaking.
There you go.
There you go. Well, that was a ton of news and some fun stories in there, but I think that's enough about news. Tonight, we're going to recap the last weekend. There was some geocaching stuff going on the past weekend. Land Monkey and I went ape together, and along with a bunch of our closest friends. So we want to hear from you about your highlights. Throw some stuff in the chat. Give us, you can still give us a call, 253-693-TFTC, and leave us a comment or a question about going ape, and we might play it on a future podcast. But tonight, we're going to talk about our experiences. It's all about us.
You better believe it. Now, the day prior to the ape was the Parlay Like It's 1699 event. That was a very memorable event for me. Many of you were there on the boat with me, and I've received many outreaches of love and concern, and I thank you so much. I, as a caring individual that you know that I am now, I decided, I'm going to do something nice for my dad. And for Father's Day, I went ahead and bought him a ticket on the tall ship for this battle sail because it was such a memorable event for me. I wanted to share that with my father. Well,
how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, it did. It didn't go well.
It was memorable.
It was very memorable.
You described in a text to me that it was fun right up until it wasn't.
Yes, there you go. It was a lot of fun right until it wasn't. I did not know my father got seasick. So he got seasick on that boat and he passed out. Now, he has a history of cardiac events, so, we took the very prudent measure of calling 911, having them meet us there at the pier, and they took us to the Bremerton ER, and, they decided that he should spend the night for observation. I'm all for that. And the next 3 days, I wasn't as happy as they decided, we'll run this test. And then we'll tell you 10 to 12 hours later the result of that test, and if we want to run more tests the next day. So anyway, my father is fine. He simply passed out. He now the EMT described it to me the best. When you become seasick or nauseous in any way, blood rushes to your stomach.
Sure.
Your heart rate increases to push that blood back up into your extremities. Mm-hmm. My dad is on a medication that keeps his heart rate at a constant level. So there was no blood going about, and down he goes. So he's fine. I really do appreciate the love and the concern of the geocaching community. Since it was a geocaching cruise, there were several people there. I had several people come up to me and say, what can I do to help? I'm here for you. And so, guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm silly a lot, but this time I'm really truthful and I'm touched from the outreach from the geocaching community. So thank you so very much.
Absolutely. No, that's good. And, even at Going Ape event, Jim and I were there, and there was a number of people who were coming by and asking updates and checking in to see how things were. So, as you say, great community. A number of those people are folks who are in this chat tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, we appreciate the community that you guys bring when there's something serious going on. So, we love to have fun, hang out, and be crazy on the podcast. But life is life. Serious things happen. So it's really nice to know that people who like to hang out with you are also there for you when you need them.
Yep.
Exactly. So once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That may not be the best term at the moment, considering it was not a cardiac event, but I don't even know where the bottom of my heart is. See, now I'm being silly to deflect. This is how I do it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. There you go.
Now, that was the Parlay Like It's 16.99 event.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go on to say there were 3 boats there: the Lady Washington, the Hawaiian Chieftain, and the Sea Rogue. And all 3 of those boats kind of intermingled and shot cannons at each other.
So Chris, how big are these boats?
Large.
Okay.
I don't know the size, but
so
let's
if
see.
it was an Earth cache and you were asked to estimate the size.
40 feet?
Okay.
No, bigger than that. There were 40 visitors on the boat with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crewmen, and there was still plenty of room to walk and move around. In fact, during the battle sail, they had you clear the deck, the gun deck, so you could be on the quarter deck or forward of that, and there was still plenty of room to move about. So
I have to ask, the poop deck.
Which end do you think the poop deck is on?
I always assume it's on the back.
Okay. Which end do you want to go into this?
So when I've traveled to Jamestown, they asked the 8th grade students, they'd tell them about the cabin boy's job. You would collect the chamber pots and dump them overboard in the morning, right? And they said they asked the students the same question. If you were going to dump a chamber pot full of obnoxious substance overboard, where would you do it? And they all said, well, from the back. And they said, okay, these are wind-powered vessels. In a wind-powered vessel, which direction does the wind come from?
Ah.
And then they said, why do you think it's called the head?
All right.
There you go. He has that so much better than I. And
I've learned something new. I love it.
Yes, thank you to our research department. The Lady Washington is 112 feet long. He also says about 58 feet. So I'm 58 feet tall, maybe.
Oh wow. Okay.
But they
yes, I guess the point is these aren't like little ships. No. These are ships.
Yeah. Have you seen the
112 feet length overall?
Okay. Have you
72 feet length at the water line, and 67 feet LOD. Let's say LOD. I'm trying to read this at the same time I'm looking at it, and it's not working out so well. Okay. Length on deck. So there you go.
I'm going to come up with. Have you seen the Johnny Depp Jack Sparrow movies?
Yes. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Thank you. There you go. That Lady Washington was the Black Pearl in those movies. So I don't know if that gives you a size idea.
Okay. Was there an undead monkey?
No, you were there. No, you weren't there.
I was not there. No, and that was actually one of the questions. I think Bounce was asking if I was there. I was not there. We weren't able to make it this year.
Yeah.
So there you go. For those of you watching at home, there's a picture from my iPad of Lady Washington. Does that look accurate, Chris? Because I wasn't actually there.
Yes,
okay.
It's 2 masts.
I don't always trust Wikipedia, but when I do, I put a picture on my podcast.
The Hawaiian Chieftain is 103 feet 9 inches. And the Sea Rogue is actually quite small in comparison.
Oh, you've been corrected from your movie trivia. Broncos Fan for Life says the Lady Washington was the Interceptor, the British ship that was stolen in the first version.
Okay.
See, I didn't actually watch those.
You're just making stuff up.
Shh.
Hey, if that's what we're supposed to do tonight, I'm awesome at just making stuff up.
Oh yeah, let's just make some. Okay, so I apologize. I was incorrect.
Wait till he gets full of Molson.
That never happens because I don't drink that.
That's just for export. That's just the good stuff they export.
Export it to you guys. Enjoy. All right. Hey, so that's cool. So you got on the ship. You were able to experience it, and a bunch of the people in the chat were there too, which is cool.
Yeah.
How long were the ships out for when they went out?
about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, right in that area. Fired a bunch of times, big. It was like a Hostess ho-ho size of black powder.
Okay.
Because it was about that size, wrapped in aluminum foil, and it just looks like a ho-ho to me.
Now I'm
I don't
hungry.
know what else to say.
I don't know. When I hear you say hostess ho ho, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. It sounds like we just changed the rating on the podcast to me.
It's a confection.
Okay.
No, not a confection. It's a baked item.
Is it?
Made by the Hostess company who makes the Twinkies.
Okay. Oh, so
this
that's
is a devil's food wrapped dessert.
Right, so we're still talking about like Molson Canadian.
Once again, back to my iPad picture and the internet. There you go. There's
nasty.
Well, they were always wrapped in foil.
Yeah, this is what they look like. There you go.
Great. Yeah, sign me up.
It's just it's a reference back from my childhood.
Okay.
And like I say, they were always wrapped in foil. That's what apparently we're no longer family friendly.
Okay, so the cannons were fired using a little small cake of powder the size of a ho-ho.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And they had a gunner and a gunner's mate. That is the ding dong in foil? No, I think the ho-ho is in foil. The ding dong.
The ding dong's in foil too.
Okay, everything is in foil in the 70s.
Focus.
We're derailing here.
No,
hey,
I want baked goods.
But we got Land Monkey to say ho ho.
Ding dong.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah, sorry. And we got him to say ho ho.
Hee
hee ho ho ho. Okay.
Chips.
Cannon. A lot of fun. Chips, cannon. Lots of geocachers, many of which dressed up in pirate attire.
Cool.
As was encouraged. There were 2 sets of virtual caches. I only found a couple. There was a nicely convenient virtual cache there. Did I say virtual cache? I meant lab caches. Did I say 2 sets of lab caches?
Oh, okay. I got. Yeah. You know what? I'm not sure what you said, but I assumed you meant lab caches.
Okay. I'm wondering if I said something different. 2 sets of, I want to say 9 each lab caches.
Right. You ready?
And then there was a virtual cache nearby from 2003. It's not a new virtual cache. It's an old virtual cache.
Yeah.
The oldie virtual cache. Yeah. Got it.
That's right.
And you had the opportunity on the boat if you wanted to learn how to use the ropes, to learn all the sailor phrases. Yes. So
cool. You could belay that.
Yes, you belay the line.
Tote that barge, lift that bail.
Kind of. Heave and hoe. We heaved and hoed.
You can move that thing and the other thing.
That's right.
Yes, we took 2 steps forwards and then we belayed or dropped the line. It was a lot of fun until it wasn't. And then
Did you fail to the cliffs of insanity?
Yes.
No, I did not. Because, that's just inconceivable.
You keep using that word.
I don't think it means what you think it means. Now, if you had the opportunity to do the battle sail, normally I want to say it's $60 if you catch these boats on any other port. But for this event, it was $40, which was a fabulous price. So anyway, that was a good event. Thank you, Goblin Dust, for all your hard work to get that implemented. I know Cash Advance was there selling coins and, their wares as they are wont to do. They're a great group. Yep. JD was dressed up as a pirate. I don't think I've ever seen him dressed up as a pirate before. He should do it more often.
All right. Well, speaking of JD, I saw him the next morning.
Did you really?
I did. My caching crew and I were lucky enough to actually have pretty much an exact recreation of our previous year's breakfast before the event at the Summit Pancake House in Hyack there. They've got a thing called the I-90 breakfast special, and it pretty much sets you for most of the day. You kind of don't need lunch after that. At least I don't. But Three Hams definitely said the I-90 breakfast was one of the best parts of the day. That and meeting other cashers. But we had JD and Lisa joined us for breakfast, which was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Brylang in the chat. I-90 special. Yes, we love the I-90. So yeah, we had breakfast with our friends and then headed over to. Actually, we did the new virtual that's by right by there. There's a little waterfall in the river right. It's like a kilometer away. It's really close.
Nice. What was that virtual comprised of? What was the goal? Go to a place, take a picture, or was there more?
Take a picture with your GPS or something in there showing the waterfall on your GPS. And
gotcha.
I had the opportunity to once again drive Mrs. Land Monkey crazy by holding the GPS out over the edge while I take the picture.
It's not like that GPS is important to you, that you need it for the rest of the day or anything.
One day.
Well, if you cache by phone and your phone is also your camera, how do you take a picture of your GPS?
Well, there you go. Then your host.
Mirrors. Smoke and mirrors.
Team Finn said it's Snoqualmie Falls. There you go. Is it Snoqualmie?
Okay.
I don't think it's Snoqualmie Falls.
I think Snoqualmie Falls is further away. This is like...
I proposed to my wife at Snoqualmie Falls. That was before she knew how romantic I was.
That was the last romantic thing you ever did.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, I don't think it's Snoqualmie Falls. I'm not sure the name. The cache is called something like Hole in the Wall or Fall Through the Wall or something like that. So anyway, that all said, then we went to the event, and by the time we got there, Wits End had already gotten the tent set up.
Well, credit to help from others. When I pulled in, Sprouter came right over, and MC3 Cats came over, and we had teamwork. They all just pounced and set the tent up. I had a lot of help, so I won't take all the credit.
There you go. So yeah, and again, thanks to those who definitely helped out, and a big thanks to Bounce for sharing your super cool lab caches for us to have at the Caching in the Northwest tent. As always, they're a hit, and people love to come over and check those out. So we really appreciated you lending those to us for the day.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. They're very creative and they're so much fun. I also noted that some of my friends hit some Bounce caches over that weekend and added to the huge number of favorites that they were continuing to get. So
if you're looking for highly favorited caches, look for Bounce.
Yeah, pretty much that's a guarantee. Bounce or Goblin Dust.
Exactly. If you're here in the Northwest, if you hit either one of those two cache hiders, you're not going to be disappointed.
Absolutely. I mentioned earlier, 3Ham said, besides the I-90 breakfast, the other best part of the Going Ape event was meeting cachers. So we've got the new cache, the new souvenir, so we didn't think there was really much point in hiking through the tunnel again this time. Although it would have been nice and cool in the tunnel. Do that. So we hung out at the tent and walked around, chatted with some people. Man, did we ever see a lot of friends there. I think I met more people than I was expecting to. And that was really cool.
Yeah, we even had Signal come by and play with Bounce's games there.
There you go.
Yes, I saw there was. You're trying to replace me on the podcast with Signal.
Well, we were going to talk to you about that later off air.
Oh. Yeah, we're going to have a talk. Signal doesn't say much, but we're going to have a talk.
Yeah, there you go. I'm also reminded, Team Finn Cameron in the chat wants to make sure that I don't forget to give him a hard time. Also in the chat is the Land Sharks. And I was talking with Mr. Land Sharks, and we're just chatting about a few things. And then Mrs. Land Sharks comes over and grabs my shirt and says, "This is a travesty. You have to see this." And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on? Takes me over to the trackable tent where there were just hundreds of bins for different locations of trackables. There had to have been one for every state in the U.S. and every county in Washington. There's just so many bins you could barely figure out where to put things. But we noticed, and there's bins for Europe and bins for there's a miscellaneous bin for I don't know. There's somewhere that's not covered by everything else. Well, apparently the place that wasn't covered by everything else was Canada. And that was the travesty. And, I got to say, with that number of bins, so as I was being pulled over to witness this so that I could make sure that Canada gets a proper representation on the podcast, as I do every week. But so thank you to Ellen, Mrs. Landsharks, for catching that one. I noticed Team Finn hastily scribbling out one of the other ones and writing Canada in on it. So I thought, well, at least there was an effort. So
yeah.
Wasn't that, though, a geocaching.com sponsored trackable table and Canada's just permanently removed?
You're just trying to get me going again.
I am.
I have promised Rock Chalk I was going to behave myself when it came to that whole topic. So I have nothing further to say.
First of all, I don't believe you.
Second of all, he's not here.
There you go. Yeah. So in the chat, Mr. Landshark says Helen rectified the situation and never let them live it down.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed meeting both the Landsharks. That was great, and it's always great to see people in person. We get this fun every Thursday night of seeing the three of us. We can see each other, but we can't see all of you fine listeners out there. You can see us, but it's kind of a one-way thing. So I always enjoy going to the events and meeting our listeners in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to meet you guys in person.
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Lemucky, you look confused. Is there a problem?
No, just dealing with something in the chat there.
Okay.
All done. I was using magic admin powers.
I'm mobile and I don't have the chat, so I didn't know what you were looking at. Never mind.
So, folks, how was the weather up there during the event?
Smoky.
Well, yeah.
Thankfully dry, and the wind was not too much of an issue this year. For the first couple hours we were there was hardly any breeze at all.
Well,
and then
because you brought monster sandbags for the tent.
Well, I was going to say, last year the tent tried to lift off several times, so I brought some big sandbags this year and weighted the tent down, and it worked out really well. And for the first couple hours I was sitting there, I felt like I'd wasted my effort until, like I said, a couple hours in, when Peaches and Pete had to grab their tent as it rolled up over their car. So then I felt justified in hauling all that extra dead weight up Snoqualmie Pass.
Ruined your gas mileage.
Grabbed one of the legs of the tent to help them out with that.
Yeah. So that worked out well. The weather was not too hot. It would have been nice if it had been a little clearer, but we have all that smoke to...
I know, you really couldn't see the surrounding mountains. I mean, you could kind of faintly see them there, but man, that's bad, eh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, I guess in some ways it's kind of the new norm. At least it has been the last 2 summers. So.
It seems that way, yeah.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? But today, I got to see the mountain. It still exists. Yeah. And it cleared up and it cooled down. We got another weather system coming in from a different way that hopefully will start to move this smoke out of here.
Yeah.
Today, here in King, Pierce, Thurston counties, I think, Brown Bear Car Wash celebrates their 61st anniversary, and they gave away car washes. But they said, come on in, get the ash off your car. We'll give you a free car wash today.
So they want you to get your ash in gear. And
that's right.
Okay.
You know, all this smoke and ash coming down from British Columbia, maybe we just need to build a big wall.
I think that's the only way we can keep this.
The only place that there's forest fires going on right now is British Columbia. Yeah.
No, there's still some in Washington.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can get all those big wind turbines that I see as I go over and put them in reverse and blow all that smoke away from,
blow it out over the ocean. I think earlier in the chat, who was it? Somebody was talking about putting fans, Keepers of the Cash Flow. I talked about putting fans on top of the Rockies and just try and blow it all up.
There you go.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh man, so Keepers of the Cache Flow said the smoke got worse there in Alberta today,
Oh,
as it cleared out this evening here in BC, so, or at least in
Mhm.
coastal BC and Washington.
yeah. Yeah, I was very grateful this morning when I left home for work that it was drizzling slightly and it smelled so much clearer.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, the air quality yesterday was 190 some odd.
Out of
0 to 50 is good. So it was 190, which is bad. Today it was 166, which you go, well, that's not a great improvement, but it sure
progress.
looked much better.
Well, put it this way, according to the news, it was officially worse air in Seattle than in Beijing.
Yes.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There were a couple of cities here in the Northwest there were 4 cities that had the worst air quality in the entire world
Yeah.
for that day. So,
Yeah, that's just insane. Hey, so moving away from the smoke topic for a bit, but back to the Going Ape event. And first of all, point out that I am wearing my Going Ape hat.
Yes.
I have a whole Going Ape shirt.
You do.
I've gone ape.
You have gone ape. Nice. I want to thank Broncos fan for life for making sure I realized that there were hats there, and I like it. It's awesome. So it's part of the wardrobe tonight. One of the other things that I liked were the AR lab caches, or the lab caches in general at Going Ape. Now, I got to full disclosure, I did not do the lab caches. Mrs. Land Monkey did them with our caching crew. But the report I got back from the caching crew and Mrs. Monkey was good job. Nice work. So kudos.
Yeah, I usually trust her.
Well, I have to say I did a couple of no, I think it was at lunch during Giga Stock with Broncos fan. She goes, "We use this same stuff at work. The same type of AR."
Oh yeah.
And she says it can look very good. She's I'm going to do some of these. So
Nice.
Very cool.
So I'm glad to know that she put her knowledge to work and produced some good quality caches.
Yep. No, that's well done.
Yes, definitely. Broncos fan, take a bow. Well done.
Yeah. Well,
virtual applause from the chat room.
It's funny as well because yeah, there you go. Chat room applause. Way to go, chat room community. It's funny because when I first found out that they were going to do AR-based lab caches at the Going Ape event, I sent a tweet out saying, "Oh man, I hope they are going to be better than the ones at Gigastock." Because so here's the thing: the lab caches at Gigastock, there was 10 of them. Well, there was 30 lab caches total. 10 of them were AR lab caches. The first one I did is the one where there's this piece of paper on the table with a squiggly line. Launch the app or launch the web page. When your camera picks up the squiggly line, it pops up a within the frame on your camera the word that you need to what. So I thought, okay, cool. So that one's like that. All 10 were basically the same idea. Piece of paper with a squiggly line on it. Hover your phone over it, and you get a word. And you just kept doing the same thing. So after the first one, I was like, okay, that's cool. And then 9 more like that. I'm like, okay, come on, you guys. So my plea to the organizers of Going Ape was, please be more creative, and they were. So
cool.
Nice job, you guys.
Well done. Well done.
Speaking of Broncos fan for life, she let us know that if you remember our news story from earlier in the podcast, we were talking about the fellow named Jason in Colorado who's geocaching his recovery methodology. Said his caching ID is Jason, NIMJASON, and he has cleared 10,000 fines.
No, congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and reach out to this dude and see if he wants to share something with us.
That'd be fun.
All right. I don't know what else. That's kind of the bulk of what I had to talk about. I enjoyed the event. Like I said, it was really fun to meet up with people. I didn't know the Land Sharks are coming, so when I saw them there, that was kind of fun hanging out with them. I got to meet Chris Mackey, the geocoin designer. I've heard of this guy for years. I've seen his work and admired it. And I actually got the opportunity to meet him and his wife. So
Great.
cool. Yeah.
I also heard that Nick from Cashley was there.
We saw
He
Nick
was.
from Ashley.
He stopped by and asked for you. Asked about you.
He's actually out caching.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
We want to verify that he is a real geocacher.
Absolutely. Yeah, what else was there? So yeah, lots of people. And I mean, there's people that I abuse out of the chat who I got to see there. MC3 cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and lots of familiar faces, a few people who were new to me. It was great. I find Going Ape is a really good event to sort of combine the whole. I'm going to a mega. I'm going to get my mega icon. I'm going to do some lab caches, but also a really good social component to it.
Yeah.
If you're not, it's not like everybody takes off to go find the caches to earn, the coin for the event or whatever it is. People tend to hang out in the park for at least long enough that you get social time. And there's so many different people that get drawn in from different places. It works really well. So yeah, I think,
I know the coordinators work hard to make it a low-key mega. Yes, it is a mega event, but it's pretty low-key, and it promotes socializing, which really, as an attender, you come away going, oh, that was a nice event. I got to see a lot of people. So.
Yeah. I guess I got to meet new people that I interacted with here, but the Land Sharks, that was great. I got to meet Casemon.
Oh yeah.
Came by and played a lot of the Bounce puzzle boxes. So, and we got to hang out. I got to hang out at the tent with Mrs. Land Monkey while Mr. Land Monkey went out and Periscope. So you can actually find footage of us on his Periscope if the archive is still out there.
It is. Yeah, I always save them, so it's out there on Twitter.
There you go. So if you didn't make it and you want to see what the mega looked like, go check out Land Monkey's Periscope. And there's a brief appearance from Mrs. Land Monkey and myself.
I should look at it because I didn't get to see what the tent looked like.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It looked awesome because it was filled with bounce caches.
Well,
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to get him on contract.
Yeah.
Bounce caches only appear at Caching in the Northwest booth.
All right.
We have the exclusive bounce contract.
And MC3 Cats asked, wasn't the ape interviewed? And he was interviewed on my Periscope. So if you want to see the ape interview, it's on my Periscope.
Yes, that's true.
We did not record an audio interview with the ape this year. Although I guess that's kind of a tradition. We need to get back to doing that.
Yeah.
Well, we may have something that we
Should
don't know about.
All right.
Monkey.
Okay.
All right. So that all said, what do you guys want to do? You want to wrap up the normal part of the show? We can.
I think we ought to.
Okay. That's usually when there's a pregnant pause. That means we're done. So. Big sigh from Jim. Nice. All right. Well, Jim, you wanna start working us out?
Sure. We want to thank everybody. We want to thank everybody listening, of course. But of course, on top of all that, our special thanks go out to our Denali level supporters. That would be Bounce, as we've been talking about here, Team Squirrel, Limax, and WorldCaching.com. Maybe you don't know about supporting the show by being a patron. You can go over and check out the Patreon, that's an N, not an M, Patreon link over on the CachingNW.com website.
Awesome. Do you want to take a run at the names here?
Well, I could give it a shot. Let's see. Take my big breath like Land Monkey always does and say, that would be Pendragon, Broncos Fan for Life, Sprouter, Camp Clan, Tick Magna, Kev MacD, Subway Mark, Dora Moore, Dune Buddy, Ken Vegas 19, GeoNav, Pros, Wino, Seattle, Acker, Doc, Billy Robson, Nice, Antaeus, Keats 94, Curiosity Girl, Trexer Zero, and MC3 Cats.
Nicely done.
Thank you very much, folks. Now, until next week, where can we find let's say Land Monkey, where can we find you online if people were looking for you?
Well, I'm in my basement at the computer. That's where you can find me online.
Nice.
Um,
I'm so much cooler online.
at least I'm not in my mom's basement, so there's a step up there. No, seriously though, you can find me on landmonkey.blogspot.ca, and you know what? Just brand new, hot off the presses. If you type in adventuregeocaching.com, that's adventuregeocaching, one word.com, that's going to take you to my blog.
Oh,
I got a new URL.
What is this?
I've been busy. All right. So but of course, follow me Twitter, Instagram, Periscope at LandMonkeyGC, and check out that YouTube channel. Just dropped another one. So episode 2 of season 1 of Geocaching Adventures. That is our second day in Iceland, doing the Golden Circle tour that just dropped last night. So check that out. Give it a thumbs up, follow. Sure appreciate all of that. Wits End, my friend.
I was going to say, look at you dropping Iceland like that. That's amazing. Well, I was just sitting here thinking maybe we need to start a new part of the podcast for your challenges and all, and it'll be find Wits End on a Thursday night, because obviously I'm not in my studio tonight. Wouldn't it be fun if we said, okay, here comes the podcast. Let's see who can get on camera with me first. But maybe that's a little more difficulty than we want to go to. I am close to home tonight. Just I'm working and I'm on a break, and I have to go back to work pretty soon. So when I'm not working, or anytime I'm working, find me online, twitter.com, Wits End. Also, geocaching is my handle there, and I think there's even a Facebook /Wits End. Wits End is pretty much where you'll find me, hopefully. And our illustrious host, Chris of the Northwest. How about you?
Well, look for me on Twitter or Facebook, CachingNW. Head on over to CachingNW.com/hosts. Find our bios. You can read those, find all those links. That way you don't have to pull off the road and try to write down with your handy little geocaching pen all these addresses that we just mentioned.
All right. And, if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, why don't you join us on a Thursday Night Live sometime? You can see our smiling faces and watch light shows from Land Monkey. Whether you join us live or whether you join us on a podcast feed, we want to thank you for taking this time out of your day to listen to this episode of Caching the Northwest. You can be part of the show. It might help us. Give us a call, 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question. Save us from a Bigfoot attack any time of the day or night. And, of course, you can always email feedback@cachingnw.com. Your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, head over to the cachingnw.com website and click that Patreon link like we talked about. So you can subscribe, podcasts, you can do that. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, there's a ton of podcast apps out there. Pick your favorite and subscribe to Caching Northwest. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer and Jay Kennedy and hosted by Chris J. and little old me. So it's licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2018 by Chris Umfenauer. That's him right there. Hang out for a while now. We might do something else. That thing.
That's what we're going to do.
That's it, yeah.
Nice. Well, folks, if you're new to the podcast, the after show is a time where we get to chat with those who are watching live in the chat room. They've posted #FATAS comments. That's for the after show. And it's something that maybe didn't fit in with the content of the normal show, but we toss it in as an opportunity for a little more intimate interaction, shall we say.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because I'm romantic that way. Okay. What were you going to say, Land Monkey?
Nothing. I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay. We start off with Keats94 says new virtuals in downtown Vancouver. That's GC 7 Beta 6 Foxtrot 0 and GC 7 Beta 6. I wanted to say martial arts, but it's Mike Alpha.
I thought it was monkey attitude. So
Oh,
Oh, well, you can get some monkey attitude. It's free.
can you go to the new virtuals and get monkey attitude?
Sure. If I'm there.
Or Fatas could be fun and teasing stuff. Yeah. That was very nice, Kev MacD.
All right. Kim MacD also shared another up here in Southwest British Columbia. Another virtual cache published is in New Westminster, and that is GC7 Bravo 9 Juliet Alpha.
nice.
To which Brightling says the FTF is still available on that one.
Oh,
And it still is as of this moment.
There you go.
okay.
So stop listening. Go get a geocache. Come on, guys.
Start Cacher shared for the after show. He said, I'm a couple hundred miles closer to most of the people in the chat tonight. He's watching on the free Wi-Fi in his motel room.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, there you go. Jim can relate. In Libertyville, north of Chicago. Spending the weekend Friday through Sunday at Six Flags Amusement Park. Well, that sounds like fun.
Six Flags are pretty fun.
Yeah.
The little bald guy doing the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not dancing right now. What are you talking about?
Oh, different little bald guy.
Yeah,
With copyright concerns, we probably can't use his name. Where's he? Yellow and black striped shirt.
There we go.
we do love free hotel Wi-Fi. Let me tell you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why would you say that, Wits End?
That's where I'm coming to you from right now.
And that's what Keats wants to know is where are you coming from right now?
Hashtag. Where's Wits End?
I'm working tonight. Well, not at the moment. I'm having fun hanging out with you guys. It's on a break, but
Kind of like work.
yeah. Set up some audiovisual gear. I'm here at the Hyatt. I think it's a Hyatt Regency. I forget all the names. All the hotel ballrooms look the same. Once you've been in one, you've been in any of them. But I'm in Bellevue. There's a show going on in the ballroom upstairs that ends in about an hour, and I have to go back to work and help put all the pieces back in the boxes and back in the truck. So you guys can sign off pretty soon and go to bed, and I'll go back to work and be a couple hours behind you.
There you go. Well, plus your drive back.
Yeah.
MC3.
But you know what? Traffic this time of night's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Winning hashtag?
MC3 Cats has the winning hashtag tonight. Hashtag where's Wits?
Oh, there you go.
Kevin
You
Mackey
need a
says,
stripy hat. Where in the world is Wits End?
Nice.
Oh, let's see.
Do you have anything else?
Keats says it looks like the smoke is on its way out. Thoughts are with the fire crews. Very good. And those affected by the wildfires. Thoughts are also with the FSR power trails and the geo maintenance that follows.
No, yeah.
Oh, I have been corrected here in the chat. The cache up by Hayak, the virtual I was talking about, called Fall in the Wall Virtual. And it's GC7 Bravo 72 Bravo. Thank you very much.
All right. Is the virtual called high kayaking? Like Hayak? High kayak?
Oh, okay. That could be. I just remember Fall in the Wall being part of it, but there you go.
Okay.
Yes. Fall in the Wall Virtual High Kayaking.
Well, I suppose I could go look up the thing. Why, how come it doesn't search right?
Because.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin MacD said we're at 6,978 virtuals now.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon had said that there was 6977 at the beginning of the show, so that means one virtual got published during our podcast. I think that one should get extra credit. I don't know, something.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
If it was published during our show, yeah.
Let's. Well, hey, research department, tell us which one that was.
Ooh, challenge.
Maybe we'll send a Caching in the Northwest souvenir for your profile if you can get that one.
Ooh, there you go.
Published during the podcast.
So, there you have it. Folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. You know, the after show is just a nice spot to make this more of a dialogue rather than us talking our heads off like we do each and every week.
That's right.
So thank you so much for sticking with us. I'm kind of talking, seeing if we come up with anything from the research department. If not, that's okay.
Stretch.
Yeah, I'm getting this from the sidelines. I don't know what it means. I think they're making taffy over there.
I got super glue on my fingers or something. I don't know. No.
All right.
Folks, until next week, go out and get that FTF on that new virtual. And while you're doing that, you know you will be caching in the Northwest. Good night.